England's opening match in European Championship Group 7. Tense night for Graham Taylor. Trevor Brooking and John Motson, the commentators for England against Poland.
Steve Bull has held off the challengers for the England number 9 shirt, and that's good news for his personal fan club from the Midlands, who've come down in their chartered coaches to swell a Wembley crowd estimated at over 70,000, paying gate receipts of £1.25 million. Well, a goal from Bull would go some way to making that outlay worthwhile. It's the first time that the Wolves centre-forward has started 2 consecutive internationals. The same applies to goalkeeper Chris Woods, as Graham Taylor names the same side for his first 2 matches, something his predecessors Ramsey, Reevy, Greenwood and Robson were all unable to do. Captain Gary Lineker and number 11 John Barnes both win their 60th caps tonight, both scored on Poland's last visit to Wembley, and the 5 substitutes are also the same as for the Hungary match, so they include Chris Waddle and Peter Beardsley. Also on the subs bench is the regular Polish goalkeeper Bako, whose lapses in recent defeats mean a recall for 27-year-old Józef Wandzik. The Poles are without Celtic striker Jakanowski, who has a broken nose, but his club colleague Wdowczyk plays at number 3, and the trickle of players to the west has now become a flood. Number 5 Kaczmarek, number 7 Tarasevich and number 11 Jobert all earn their living in France, and number 9 Furtok plays in West Germany. And his attacking partner tonight, number 10 Roman Kozecki, is the latest target for the agents and the marketeers. Referee Lanese is Italian. A nice reminder of the World Cup as the team who finished 4th start their latest adventure in the European Championship against a Polish team hoping to equal the feat of their predecessors 17 years ago. This is Wdowczyk, the Celtic defender, and now Lineker to Barnes. And Lineker again. Good start by him, and Wdowczyk has to step in. Walker. Jobert. Tarasevich. Pat couldn't get to him. This is Furtok. Jobert. And it's a free kick given against Mark White. Paul Gascoigne and David Platt in the wall with John Barnes. And 4 Polish players round the ball. Chris Woods got to make sure it's right in front of him. And Tarasevich hit it. He was the player who struck the bar in Poland exactly a year ago in the last minute against Peter Shilton. If it had gone in, it could have affected England's chances of qualifying for the World Cup. But on this occasion, his shot was well fielded by Chris Woods. Gascoigne. That's a good-looking ball, and it had Nawrocki stretching. Barnes. And Lineker's coming in on this. Lee Dixon. Lineker. Walker. Barnes.
Interesting there, John Barnes just overrunning that. Des Walker's pass just playing him into a little bit of trouble, but I think it's going to be very important that they do take it in terms of central defenders. That's Mark Wright, Des Walker and Paul Parker to bring the ball out from the back and commit the massive defenders that Poland seem to be getting back. There's always really 8 players, so somebody from the back's got to come out and make sure you bring them out of defence and open them up a little bit.
That was a foul by Kozetski on Pearce, a free kick to England. Mark Wright is making his way forward. Pearce to take it. It's Gascoigne who went down. David Platt's made a strong run from midfield. Wojciech is cutting him off here. Nawrocki. This is Tarasevic. Furtok is running through the middle, so is Wojciech on the far side. Number 8, Robert Wojciech, who will patrol that right-hand touchline for Poland. Here's Barnes, who will patrol the left one with more freedom to roam, I would think, from the England point of view. Pearce. Oh, that's good play between him and Barnes. It left the Polish marker standing. Lineker's in the middle, and here comes Dixon! He found a terrific position and couldn't finish.
I suppose that's a classic case of a defender's finish, but you can see him looking up to the sky, calling himself 1 or 2 names there, because that was a great opportunity. Superb cross, just clears the defender in the middle, and Lee Dixon getting in front of his marker. It just caught, bounced, what, a half a yard in front, got underneath it and lofted it over, but could have bounced off his knee and gone in.
Both fullbacks playing a part in that England attack, Trevor. Pearce beginning it with a good ball down to Barnes, and then Dixon on the other flank. That's where they've got to push forward, isn't it? This is Kozetski. Nawrocki. Tarasevic. Gascoigne tracking him back. That's the job that he and Platt have got to do, up and down. Now he wants it forward. Parker. Looking for ball. Sheer persistence by Steve Bull. But his marker, Chachowski, knew a bit too much there. Wouldn't commit himself. Tarasevic. Wojciech. And it's 3 up for Poland here. And Furtok goes to the right, leaving Jobert on the left, and a good interception by Dixon. Wojciech. Barnes. Gascoigne. Lineker pulling to the left. Seemed a bit wild, but Wojciech kept the ball. It was Gascoigne who dived in a bit.
I think you could call that one of Gazza's rushes of blood that he sometimes gets, and he was never ever going to get near the ball.
Platt. This is Parker. Well, they're 1/4 of an hour gone, and Poland doing their best to smother England's attacks at source up to now, but this is Lineker. That's a free kick. An impetuous challenge by the number 2, Chahowski. And the captain will be hoping that England can profit from this. Stuart Pearce has come across to take it. Mark Wright has gone forward. There's a real pile-up in there. Played back for Dixon. Curled in well, and the header at the far post by Bull. And Vanchik found himself in the right place. But there was a spare man for England, and the Polish marking was pulled away by Lee Dixon's little chip in. And I would imagine the left hand saved it, Trevor, but it was a chance, wasn't it?
I think Stevie Bull is such an instinctive finisher, and more often than not, those sort of chances do end up in the net. I mean, it was a good save, but a nice height for a goalkeeper, sort of, you know, mid-drifts. The goalkeeper sort of headed it back across the far post, out of his reach. It was a clear opportunity, wasn't challenged, and they just went to sleep for an instant, the Polish defence, and again, a little frustrating chance slips by.
Well, Vanchik, who was brought in place of Bako, a decision that the Polish coach didn't announce until today, will be pleased with the save, because, of course, every Polish goalkeeper here lives under the memory and shadow of Tomaszewski from 1973. There's another man who might have appreciated the save. He played, of course, in 73. And that's Dixon passing back. And Woods kept the ball the right side of the line. Free kick. Dovchik on ball. Platt, Lineker, Wright and Ball are lined up in the centre. Gascoigne's going there as well now. And it was Pearce who struck it.
Well, Stuart Pearce and John Barnes are both great exponents of free kicks on the edge of the area, and probably jostle each other to see who's going to take it. That one, as you can see, goes through the wall. If it had been nearer that near post, I'm sure the goalkeeper would have been too pleased with the wall, because it opens up something they should never do.
Stuart Pearce, of course, has scored some fulminating goals from there for Nottingham Forest. This season already, he's struck one absolute beauty that was much admired. Not right. Now David Platt. Just gave himself some room there, but slipped over. So 25 minutes into the match, and England still looking for a way through. Obviously, the Republic of Ireland have set quite a standard in Group 7 this afternoon, and although victory is obviously England's priority, a few goals wouldn't go amiss either if they can break Poland down. Here's Dixon. Pearce. Lineker. Shadowed by Kaczmarek, and gets the corner. The first corner. Paul Gascoigne will take it. Barnes will look for a flick on at the near post. Wright will go in behind him. Lineker in the 6-yard box. but easy for the goalkeeper. 1 against 1, and Parker was the winner. Lineker, Parker. Oh, Vanšík is getting more and more confident on these crosses.
They looked outstanding so far. I mean, the goalkeeper's just come into the side, and I'm sure Graham Taylor, noting that, would have said, well, let's test him out with some early crosses. And he's just come out and eaten them all, and that also the save from Ball's header. And as you say, seemed to be growing in confidence. Let's hope he has a mishap shortly.
Well, it was mishaps last week against the United States, and before that against Romania, that cost Bacco his place and brought Josef Vanšík back in. It's his 34th cap. He's not short of experience. That bounced over Dixon's head to Jobert. Parker challenging him. It was a nice turn by the number 11. And England diving in a bit all over the pitch at the moment, I would say. Nawrocki. And there goes Tarasevic. Shevchik. Jobert. Furtop waits in the centre by the penalty spot. There he is. Oh, Tarasevic came in behind him. And if his first touch had been better, the number 7 could easily have scored. Nice handshake with Chris Woods, who he perhaps caught inadvertently at the end. But England there had 2 players against them in the penalty area, and the second one got in. It was dangerous, to say the least. Here's Parker. Bit of a slip, but he's got 6 other players up with him. And Dixon. And there's a little bit of nonsense off the ball involving Bull there. This is Gascoigne, though. And it's Platt. And it's Gascoigne. Oh, and it just caught the foot of a Polish player. It's a corner. Few bodies in the penalty area. And one of them is still on the ground. But that was the nearest England have come to piercing the Polish defence. And they'll need to get the trainers on, I think. Platt plays the ball in. Gascoigne takes them on. A little deflection there. Back again with David Platt. He falls. Gascoigne tries to shoot. And the ball is deflected out for a corner, which will now be taken. Barnes heads on. And Vanšík's in a bit of difficulty there against Steve Bull. Corner on the far side. The flags have come out in the crowd. England sets possibilities here. Right! Lineker off the line, was it in? Was it in or not? Was it handball? Penalty. Handball on the line. Kaczmarek looks at the referee, but he's given the penalty kick for handball. Lineker thought it was actually over, in fact, but a penalty may do just as well for the England captain. Gascoigne took the corner. Mark Wright got the flick. Lineker got the header, and it was handball on or behind the line. It's Lineker to take the kick. He took the 2 with such aplomb against the Cameroon, when there was rather more on it perhaps even than now, but this too is important. shaken. Absolutely no question about it. He knew he was going to score. And 5 minutes before half-time, Graham Taylor has that feeling of relief that Gary Lineker has brought to so many England matches in the past. Just look at this, for the perfect way to take a penalty. Sent him the wrong way and found the top corner. And Lineker makes it 37 goals for England on his 60th appearance. Now only 7 behind Jimmy Greaves, and for the record, 12 behind the record holder, Bobby Charlton. Meantime, it's Tarasiewicz for Poland. Well, Lineker thought he might have scored even before he had to take the penalty, but it all came to the same thing in the end. And England are in front, and you can sense the Wembley crowd warming now to the occasion. It was the near post corner again, the flick on that seems to work so often for British teams. Came just as the match was getting tricky for England. In goes Lineker again, Dixon, and Bull's coming in here, and the man behind him almost made it. Pearce, I think. Gascoigne. Pearce came from nowhere and got in behind Steve Bull. Now have the floodgate open here for England. This is where the goal came from, really, a corner on that side, and it's the same lineup again in the middle. And this time it's Pearce. Graham Taylor has always been one of the big believers in restarts. Goals galore in his Watford days from corners and free kicks. And Lineker will know that that's really what cracked it here tonight. Gascoigne takes the corner. Wright gets the flick on. Lineker with the header. And I reckon that's Kaczmarek, the captain on the line, number 5, who clearly handled the ball either on or behind the line. Foul there on Tarasiewicz, who had a few words in passing with Gascoigne. This is Nawrocki. Pearce has come up again from left back on the far side in a terrific position. That's a wonderful run by Pearce. And he and the goalkeeper arrived at the same time. As usual, the goalkeeper gets the benefit of the doubt, but Pearce has made, Trevor, some inspired bursts from left back tonight.
Yes, he gets forward very well, and of course with the sweeper system he's allowed to do that. And I thought the last 5 or 10 minutes Mark Wright has made a very good surge in runs at pace, and then in fact made somebody come out from the back to him and then release the ball, and that's something certainly that the penalty has helped settle everyone down. And as you say, a much happier side walking over to the dressing room, Graham Taylor now, than it would have been if it had been still all square.
Yes, England forced their way in front thanks to a penalty from the captain, who gives Steve Bull a word of encouragement at half-time. Lineker showing Graham Taylor his qualities of leadership and indeed a cool nerve as he put that penalty away and finally broke what was becoming quite stiff Polish resistance. Sir Alf Ramsey in the centre of the picture there, watching the match tonight, will no doubt recall that on that fateful evening in 1973, England's goal, which wasn't enough, did come from a penalty then too. Alan Clark, if memory serves. And tonight, England lead by a penalty at half-time. Paul Gascoigne. Barnes. It's important, of course, that they build on the lead if they can, because the next match in November is in Dublin. And after the way the Republic of Ireland performed earlier today, goals could come into play in this group, bearing in mind only one country qualifies for Sweden in 1992. Pearce. Robert Wasika with the throw for Poland. And the very last match in this group, incidentally, is the return between Poland and England, which will take place in November of next year. Wasika. England thought that was their throw. Nawrocki. Jobert. Foul by Gascoigne on Furtok. And that was away by Walker. And the crowd figure at Wembley this evening confirmed at 77,040. That's close to capacity. And had it not been for the ban on tickets being sold on the day of the match, it would be absolutely full. That's a terrific turnout by the England fans for this opening match in the group. And it's good to see Wembley and feel Wembley so very full. Here's Barnes. Gascoigne to Walker. Lineker comes short. And the tackle was a bit of a dig-in by Shevchik. But here's Parker. Dixon. Everybody now encamped in the Polish half. This is Wright. And Pearce very well forward again. Driven in low, and Lineker stretching, just unable to make contact on or inside the 6-yard line.
Oh, magnificent cross again by Stuart Pearce, getting up corner of the 18-yard box, stretches right along the floor. It just sips off the turf. It's Gary Lineker trying to get that hamstring to the ball, but flashed across the 6-yard box. Just needed a touch.
Well, there's obviously competition for places throughout the squad, but Tony Dorigo's on the bench. He has his supporters for the left-back position, but I have to say, the way Pearce is playing tonight, he's determined to keep it. Kaczmarek. Oh, and Mark Wright allowing Furtok to win that back. And having to hurry to make up for it. Well, they talk about frontiers coming down in Poland, and certainly the coach, Andrzej Strelau, possibly the most affable and talkative of all East European managers that I've met. He's quite a character. Gascoigne. Steve Bull is the man who was fouled, and Barnes sees a chance on the right. Good turn, but Dixon, Lineker, flat, and Lineker appears to have taken a blow. England play on. He's in an offside position technically. Won't matter now because Poland have cleared the ball to Nawrocki, and here's a little bit of danger, but how quick Des Walker is to size up those threatening situations. But the more immediate concern is the England captain.
And he's got a bad cut. Yeah, he's got a bad cut there lying down, and that's why everyone's anxiously getting round. It must have just caught somebody's boot when John Barnes, who did that super bit of skill out wide on the right, didn't quite get his cross high enough, and in the clearance that followed, Skibby Gary Lineker just got a boot called, and probably looking at the amount of blood, it might well need stitches.
Well, Lee Dixon turned the ball in, and Gary threw himself for a header and got an awful crack on the head from the left foot of, I think it was Wdowczyk. Certainly unintentional, but it's left him in a bad way, and he's being helped off by Fred Street. And England will have to decide whether he can come back on after treatment. Walker.
Again, a good example there, just from the back, Des Walker on that occasion, just releasing the ball too early rather than just having a bit of composure, bringing it forward and waiting for the defender to come out. Just on a certain number of occasions this evening, it is the centre-back position that has just released it too early.
And the Poles seem to have lifted their game a little bit since Lineker went off the pitch, which is why England are now about to do business from the bench. In fact, it looks like a double substitution. Here's Barnes, though. So the two front positions are going to be changed. Lineker is already off injured. Steve Bull also goes off. And coming on to replace them, Peter Beardsley and Chris Waddle. Trevor.
Oh, it's an interesting substitution because Steve Bull, there he is walking off. I mean, I feel Gary Lineker and himself are too similar to play as a pair. They are sort of strikers who rely on service rather than actually individualists who beat defenders. And then, having seen Gary Lineker go off, I thought perhaps we'd just get the one substitution, which might have given it a better balance. But in fact, two fresh players, the legs come on, and Peter Beardsley and Chris Waddle are both players who can beat their markers. And with Poland getting a lot of numbers back, probably that's what Graham Taylor's thinking of.
Here's Barnes. Waddle and Beardsley in the penalty area already here. His shirt was pulled a bit. Waddle is wearing 15 and Beardsley 16. Peter Beardsley has had this rich run of form for Liverpool. And it's going to be half an hour that they've got to prove their point. Flat. And the flag's up for offside. Wdowczyk. The runner now is Kozetsky. Wright takes him out. Gascoigne, Parker, Barnes. Now then Waddle and Beardsley in the centre. And that was Gascoigne looking for Waddle. A fantastic ball. Great save too. What a wonderful pass from one side of the pitch to the other. Waddle was on the end of it. This is Beardsley. Parker's head this time. An amazing pass by Gascoigne, which might well have put England completely in the driving seat. It really was the pass of the night, and it was driven from here, and he knew exactly where he was going to put it. Angled across for Chris Waddle. It went a bit to his left the first touch, and he had to pull it round, and that gave Vanchik the chance to shut him down. Now it's Poland on the attack with Vajika. And Parker has to head clear. Corner to Poland. Jobé. Vajika. And back by Platt. What a ball from Gascoigne, Trevor.
Well, both Gascoigne and David Platt just knocked it back. They really, I suppose, this evening are having to learn from the Summer World Cup. They both had excellent performances throughout the tournament, and the opposition now are marking them very close, and it's going to be games like this where sort of Gascoigne and Platt are only going to occasionally get the opportunities to show their attacking expertise. But I mean, that pass really was worth the entrance money alone, and only a good save really for Chris Waddle.
Now it's the other substitute, Beardsley. Waddle again. Pearce in a very advanced position once more. Up goes Beardsley. It's all a bit untidy, but Beardsley's doing awfully well to keep it down. Here's Barnes. He had two to beat there. Well, we said the first goal brought a sense of relief, coming when it did. It's almost as if we're in the same position again now in the second half. It would lift things considerably and ease the nerves if England could score again right now. This is Waddle. Gascoigne, a threading run. Oh, look at that touch from Beardsley. Gascoigne again. Delightful. Well, England have had to work hard to create opportunity in the second half, but Gascoigne, in flashes, has troubled the Polish defence. He worked his way through nicely there. Little back heel into his path by Peter Beardsley, but he would have hoped to curl that one a bit more. Here's Barnes. Waddle. And again. And down the line is Platt. And Waddle found him, and Beardsley's in the middle. That's a corner. Goalkeeper didn't think so, but the referee did. And they're going to take a short one. Barnes. And that was Pearce. And this is Krzysztof Vajika. And now Kozetski against Parker. That's an interesting one against one, and Parker shows what a good and quick defender he is. Pearce to Beardsley. Waddle. Barnes has made a good through run there, but they couldn't quite get it further across, Chris Waddle. And that was Tarachevich, cut out by Parker. Now right. Barnes goes to the right. Gets the free kick.
Gets a free kick there, but Vajika has marked John Barnes very well. Wherever he's drifted around, he's done a really tight man-to-man marking job and denied him very much space at all throughout the match. And although he's conceded a free kick there, up to now, although there's still a little time to go, he's done an excellent job for Poland.
They've stuck to their tactical plan pretty well, the Poles, but England could undo it here, perhaps from another set piece. Pearce has placed the ball. And that's Pearce. Oh, and Mark Wright's there. And it's loose, but only for a moment. Vanchik turned around and pounced on the dropping ball. Stuart Pearce curling it in. Mark Wright here gets a little bit free of the defenders. He got the touch, in fact, ahead of the keeper, but I think Vanchik realised before Wright exactly where the ball was. Pearce. And there goes Waddle. Good turn. Gascoigne's in the penalty area on the far side. Beardsley's also there. Beardsley! Pearce. Platt's now made a run forward, and it's been blocked by Chachowski. And the crowd once again respond to a fair spell from England. Barnes. Beardsley. Oof, almost tucked it through again. And it's all England now. Walker. Barnes. And still Barnes. Oh, good save. Excellent shot from the angle by John Barnes. And Vanchik, from Barnes' effort, made a save that kept Poland in the match, really. Barnes was at a difficult angle, but he cut it in nicely. And now it's the second Polish substitution. The pin-up boy Kozetski is going to go off. Number 10, he doesn't seem very happy about it. That's the number they're holding up. In fact, he's walked away. And he's finally persuaded he'll have to leave. And he'll be replaced by number 13, Dariusz Kubicki, who will be in Aberdeen next week with Legia Warsaw. And there are 5 minutes to go this week at Wembley, and England lead 1-0. It's Gascoigne in possession. Good turn and run by Waddle. Just driven a bit wide by the markers. Back to Dixon, though. Barnes coming in. Corner. It was a complete error, really. They tried to play a ball, or Beardsley did, back to Pearce, and it hit Gascoigne in the back as he was running away. Gary Lineker stitched up, now watching with Peter Shilton, and England still lead by his penalty goal. You can see the stitches there. It's a nasty cut, isn't it? This is Pearce. Beardsley. Offside given.
Well, as we're just ticking away to the final whistle, I think Graham Taylor and England will be certainly pleased to get the 2 points. I think that was the main essence of the evening, and the way Poland played, they came here to defend, to try and get the 0-0, and even Poland might go away with just a 1-0 deficit and look on it as looking perhaps to be their only defeat of their group, and now from there they haven't had a disastrous like they did before, a 3-0, because the goal difference then is pretty much destroys them for the rest of the group. The fact they've only lost 1-0, they'll look on it, right, that's the only game we've got to lose in this group, so it gives them a chance as well, and so both teams perhaps deep down will be satisfied with the evening's work.
Well, it was certainly vital that England won after the way the Republic of Ireland started off this afternoon. Here's Shevchik for Poland. Going into the last minute then, England have a free kick. Oh, and Beardsley nearly made it, and it went behind Platt as he ran in.
Beardsley's flick on just took it behind Platt. Funnily enough, if he let it go or just played it square, Platt was just running in nicely. It's one of those little situations, didn't go quite to plan.
Here's Dixon. Beardsley's made a run now. It's a good one too. And he's got Platt making a terrific run in the centre, and he went for the near post. Oh, what a goal by Peter Beardsley. He fooled everybody, even his colleagues, and the crowd are thrilled. That is improvisation of a very high order. And little Peter Beardsley, who hadn't scored in his last 13 England games, suddenly shows why he's been so lethal for Liverpool this season. Look where the goalkeeper is. Beardsley sized that up. The gap was inviting. The shot was true. And it's England 2, Poland 0. And it came in the very last minute. And looks like being the perfect finale to a satisfactory night's work by England.
That was a magnificent finish, and well, they said Kenny Dalglish has told him to be more selfish and try for goal. He read the situation perfect. The goalkeeper anticipated the spare man in the middle, showed his near post, and really Peter Beardsley struck a superb strike, and that 2-0 does give them the additional cushion that really I think Graham Taylor would have been looking for before the kickoff.
Well, you have to go back to the home match here with Albania to find the last time Beardsley actually got a goal in front of the England supporters. Usually such an unselfish player, but he scored one there just before the final whistle that really has given England a great ovation from the crowd at the end of the match and put everybody in such good heart for this European Championship campaign. Gascoigne congratulates him. England, who lost their captain early in the second half with a head wound, but he's still got a smile on his face, having scored the first goal from the penalty 5 minutes before half-time, and he too so excited about the way Beardsley put the finishing touches to that England victory. And just for the record, Graham Taylor starts with 2 wins, and apart from the late Joe Mercer in his caretaker spell, you'd have to go back to Walter Winterbottom just after the war to find an England manager who started like that. So it's all in all a very good night's activity here at Wembley for England, for Peter Beardsley and for the crowd. 2 points, a goal to remember, and a final score of England 2, Poland 0, with the crowd over 77,000. All very encouraging.